Share good wishes for the season, but don't invest too much in the Facebook ads. The cost per click goes up substantially because of the holiday season and because everyone's throwing their money at their marketing. So if you're not in the retail sector and you don't have to play, Black Friday and all that stuff, you can do promotions, but I would minimize my spend in terms of those 2 months for service related industries because everybody's on shop mode. And I actually heard today there was already a Christmas raffle. So before Halloween. Okay, but I do want to talk about how to effectively structure and visually showcase your offers. Super, super important, particularly if you're doing marketing online. So if you're doing ad campaigns, it's going to take work. It's going to take practice on how to, you know, refine your message, your visuals, so that it is attractive to your client. It's really not about. I always say this. It's not about what you like. It's about finding out what appeals to your larger market. So that takes practice, and it takes practice no matter what business you're in. And it also takes the ability to work on the fly. So you have to be willing to test, run it, and if it doesn't work the way it should, then here, I'll move my mic over just in case you guys are hearing me. I don't want you to hear my dogs in the background. Test and reevaluate. So marketing is not there's no one formula fits all, and there's not a formula that might work for you last year, and maybe it's not as effective this year. So you always want to be dotting your I's, crossing your T's, taking consideration for what you're saying about your product, and making sure that you're structuring them correctly. Okay, so irresistible packaging, and again, has nothing to do with the actual box. This has to do with how you present it on your website, on social channels. If you still have printed brochures, if you're a contractor or you're a builder, and you have those visual campaign folders, then you just want to make sure that you're on brand and you're emotionally creating content that is showcasing your value and your benefits. Features are great, and typically, especially when you're first starting out, people tend to focus on the features. You really want to focus on the value it brings to the customer and on the benefits that in the end your product or services will provide. Okay, so my goal, the training empowers you to craft an aligned, desirable, and unique offer. And again, that is in any industry. It doesn't matter if you're an accountant. You want to look appealing to your market. So it's clear, well presented, and you need to have some passion. I mean, I'm big about passion. You have to have passion. You have to be in love with what you're doing. And it makes it so much easier to sell anything or to market anything. And, if you're in a personal service like myself, or if you're in a coaching industry, or if you're in a contractor and you're a sole proprietor, you're marketing yourself. So you really do want to be proud of what you're putting out there so that it can become easy to market it. Okay. Offer alignment. So what does it mean to have an aligned offer that is 100% you? This offer allows you in a way that makes you feel comfortable, honest, and genuine. Okay. And I am constantly drilling down on emotional connection. You must make an emotional connection. People do business with people they like and people they feel like they know. Whether they know you or not, there is an emotional component that goes into working with you. And so you want to make sure that everything you're selling makes you feel comfortable and that you can stand behind it, that your values are there, your mission is there, that you can, genuinely, if you were outside of the product or service that you're doing, that you would genuinely recommend it. Okay. You're confident that you can deliver the offer. So this is also a big challenge for a lot of small businesses. Often, and I'll be honest with you, no question, when I started out in 2007, it was very similar for me as well. Everybody, you want to be everything to everyone. And someone will come to you with something that maybe you don't normally offer, but you're like, oh yeah, I need the business, I'm going to offer it. Here's what ends up happening. You make yourself too thin. You end up doing nothing well, including what you do well, right? So everything takes the hit and takes a piece of that energy from you. So you really want to make sure, go small at the beginning. I always say, start with a core product, core service, focus on doing that well and getting people results. And then if you want to grow, but do not try and attempt to be, the Walmart of everybody's world, because it's not going to work, or the Amazon. You want to stay with what you know best, what you know you can do well, and what you know will get people results, so that they can in turn recommend you, have positive things to say, had a good experience, and that way you can grow as needed. Or you may find that you can just really do one niche market and you do it well, and that works for you, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Okay. You deliver this offer in a way that's aligned with your business and your lifestyle goals. So again, that depends on what type of business it is, but this comes back to only offering what you're committed to, what you're invested to. And you want to make sure that it's what you want to do and the type of work that you want to be doing. Okay. The offer integrates well into your offer palette. It allows you to add more products and services. We just kind of talked about that. It adds value to the market and contributes to your reputation and overall customer lifetime value. And I should have added and experience. So we're all about experiences now. We talk a lot here, and everyone else in marketing talks about story, getting personal. Sorry, my girl's whining. Getting personal, making that relationship, closing that gap, and it becomes important. So you want to add value. You want to be proud of what you do, what the work you're putting out is high quality, regardless of what it is. That could be a hairdresser. It can be an accountant. It really doesn't matter. It can be a coach. Take pride in your work. And there will be a payoff on that with lifetime. I have clients that go back to 2009, which is when I first came into the business full time. I was working part-time I was working full-time in hotels, and I was doing this part-time. I made the move over in 2009. I still have many clients that I work with and have continued to work through the years. So you just want to stay with what you know. Don't try and go out of your wheelhouse to make other people happy. And it will benefit you. It'll take time. Nothing happens overnight. But it will definitely value you. Okay. Creating and delivering the offer makes you feel inspired and supports what you bring out to the world. So, this just, again, kind of wraps that up. You want to be passionate about what you're doing. And you want to I enjoy our Thursday classes. If you're not in them, I really highly recommend them. It's a group of really strong businesses who have worked very hard this last year to, complete their brand. A lot of them have redone their copy from when we first started. They're now learning how to update their website. And they're just really passionate about what they're doing. And so that makes me happy. And it inspires me to continue to bring new classes on, offer more support, do different classes for them. So when you're doing something you love, you're bringing something to the world. And that's really all we can ask for. Okay. So there's 3 steps. Super, super simple. And sometimes you get stuck on it. I would highly recommend that you just brainstorm whenever you're doing any of these processes. Don't overthink it. Just write it down, what comes to your mind first, and then you can look at competition and all of that stuff. But initially, the problem, you just really want to talk about that in demand. You want to see what's in demand. What are people needing? And don't get discouraged if you see people offering something. It means that there's a high demand, and the market's usually bigger than you would think. I'm particularly lucky because I can work with clients all over the world. I choose to work with clients in Canada and the US. I have worked overseas, but I don't find it quite as easy to do with the time differences, and there's just a bunch of logistics that I prefer to stay away from. So, I have a large market. If you're smaller, then you're really going to want to look at your competition, and you're really going to want to look at how your unique solution creates a better experience. And that is step 2. So step 2 is going through that and figuring out, you figure out your problem, and then you figure out what you bring to the table that is, beneficial to you. Sorry, my children were misbehaving a bit. Okay, and then step 3, logically and clearly structure your process, your benefits, and your deliverables. So the biggest thing on this is that if you do this properly, you're never going to have someone disappointed or feel like they didn't get what they signed up for. So it's really important to structure that and think it through. Think about, your frequently asked questions and answers, and think about it as a consumer. What would you expect if you were going to your type of business? What are the benefits? And outline the deliverables so that everyone is on board. No surprises, right? Okay. So step 1, why to choose and how to find a problem that's in demand. Okay. These are goals. And this is really kind of like a SWOT. The foundation is the same in business in general. So you want to understand your demand and you want to understand your competition and spend time doing that. Conduct a market research. Also, you can do that by yourself. You don't have to spend a lot of money for that. And then that actually gives you an opportunity to drill down on the right problem to solve. I said, going back to what we were talking about earlier, you really do want to try and focus as much as you can on one problem, not 18 and try and be the god of your industry. Starting out, you want to have one problem and you want to be able to solve it correctly. Then you want to formulate your bold promise, and you want to make sure that you're passionate and you can deliver that promise. And then show how your solution is new, different, or superior. So if you're a product or service, often you're not going to be a new product. So you're going to be looking at either different as a differentiator or superior. How are you better? Is your customer service better? Is your warranty better? Is your workmanship better? What makes you stand out against your competition? Okay. All right. Demand and competition. So identifying and leveraging demand allows you to lower your risk. So you can see results faster, you can increase your profits, and you can scale, which is quite important in a very interesting market right now. So I would want anything I'm doing, I want to know that I can scale and I can be flexible, because you're going to have to be if things continue in the way they are in Canada and the US with inflation and spending. Everyone's going to have that need to look for a discount, right? Or that need to at least ask for one. So you're going to have to decide where you are, and you're going to be able to scale. Maybe you scale your services as well. So maybe you don't necessarily charge less. You just have a different option for those who have a lower budget, which is very Very, very helpful. Okay. Competition is a good thing. If it's competitive, it means there's a demand in the market. So don't be afraid of your competition. You don't have to worry about that. You don't need to create problem awareness because you already know what the problem is, and there's already competitors out there, trying to resolve the problem. The market's bigger than you think, and sometimes you have to be creative in terms of how you're positioning yourself and your services so that you can expand your market. And you can offer to other people. I mean, during the pandemic, we did a lot of online things, and that was including with the florist shop. And she would send gift baskets that had all of the the product they needed to do a workshop that she would typically do in her floral shop, but because of COVID, she had to do it online. So you do have to get creative. Your unique personality and experience, clear communication, attractive presentation. We talk a lot about this in branding, and we talk about this in our web design. Graphics are very, very important. They should be high quality. So you want to be very careful what you're putting out there. And you want to make sure that your keywords, your focal message, your copywriting, we can call it whatever we'd like, really makes you stand out and shows how you add value to the market. Okay. Eventually, if you do that well enough, you will be seen as a product or an expert in your industry. And that's where increased sales come in. That's where a higher price point comes in. A lot of reasons why you would want to make sure that your copywriting and your positioning in the market is correct right from the get-go. Okay, market research. So I actually have a link here. There's a spreadsheet, and it will go through, what to look at, right? What the big promise is from that competitor, how the problem is agitated, what pain points are highlighted. And almost everywhere, if you become aware of marketing, you'll be able to look at almost every ad and every ad campaign, and you should be able to see these things because big agencies, this is where this is where their core focus is, so that they can develop a marketing campaign for a client. And so you can go through these questions, have a cup of tea when you're doing it, and look at maybe top 3 competitors at least. I would say ideally the top 5, but look at your top 3 and see how they're doing things. Look at areas that are weak. Look at areas that can be improved. Look at reviews. See what the main complaints are for their clients. And then you can directly respond to those complaints in your product and services and how you're going to offer them. So those are all really, really important. And the spreadsheet's on the download, which is on the website. Okay. I'll show us the link when we're done here. The problem you decide to solve, always have to have a pain point, and you're always looking to be the pleasure or the painkiller. Okay. So when you think of that, it's really, really simple, and it comes down to really basic fundamentals. Problem, solution. Formulate your solution in a bold promise. And I said, don't make promises you can't keep. It will kill your business very fast. Make sure that whatever you're doing, you can do. And then you can create a promise, a guarantee, depending on the industry you're in. If you're in a sales e-commerce environment or a coaching environment, you can use do this and it's going to get this result, or do this instead. So there's lots of different ways. If you're actually in coaching or in e-commerce, there is another couple documents on my website that will actually help you with pricing charts, making promises, how to word them, graphics, stuff like that. Okay. Show your value. Always show your value. Okay. So at first you were unaware, then you become aware of the problem. Then you become aware of the solution. And of course, I said, if you do this all well, you become a product or expert in the area. Okay. So you want to look at, ensuring that you're touching on those pain points in your copy. It's important. So, you're tired of X. Now you're looking for a better way to do this. And you want this. So how about you do this? Or here's another option. Or have you thought of this? Okay. And I can tell you from my business perspective, I never go into a prospect or a proposal without 3 different pricing options. Again, they are dependent on the services they choose, but I do a lower end, more scaled down version of my services. Then I have my medium, and then I have my, full service, larger agencies, bigger companies would take. So depending on what their needs are, will depend on their price. And I do offer them the 3. I've found through the years that most go in the middle, just so you know that. Step 2, create a unique solution based on the transformation. Okay. So here's your goals for step 2. Formulate the big dream. So formulate the big result, the end result. And that can be, saving money on your heating bills. That can be growing emotionally or professionally if you are a coach. That can be literally from anything. For a hairdresser, it can literally be, having lower maintenance hair, or having higher maintenance if you choose to go that way, right? So again, all of these steps work for any business. You just have to maybe massage the wording a bit, but they're all relevant in every type of business. Okay. Show proof. Okay. And proof, we'll talk about proof in step 3 quite a bit, but proof is, what's the outcome, right? What is your client's outcome? What results have you had? And then write your solution, and we call it a discovery story. Again, stories are really popular. If you do tomorrow's class in Instagram, we're going to go at length. Lily, apologies. We're going to go at lengths on Instagram and how to capitalize on Reels, which were brought in to compete with TikTok, and how to do that really quite easy with Canva. So you can join us for that one too. All right. So add proof that your service or program works. I don't care what it is. People want to know proof, right? So screenshots are great. There are a lot of templates on Canva that, again, if you're with us tomorrow for the Instagram class, or you are doing any of the guidebooks that are on our website, you'll see how to take those screenshots and actually put them on a mock-up so they look like they're on someone's phone, or they look like they're on someone's computer. So you can, refine that picture, and still have that testimonial look like it's, on a real device. Written or video testimonials, always good. If you're in construction, or if you are in hairdressing, or if you are in renovation of any kind, home renovation, design, website design, which I always forget to do, but you can certainly do before and after pictures. Study results. If you're a larger company, typically you have case studies and you talk about the problem and you go right through it and how you worked with that client. You can also do that if you are a coach or a trainer, right? You can go right through from start to finish and talk about how those things work. Quotes, you can take just little snippets, which I'll quite often do on our websites. Take quite little quotes from testimonials, case studies of others succeeding with the same method. So, depending on what you're doing, home renovations, before and after pictures of someone going through a very similar renovation, maybe with the same budget or the same budget category, or the same size house, whatever it may be. But you can do that with studying others or showcasing others that have had a similar problem that the client coming to you has, and that this is how you resolved it. And this was what the success was at the end of it. Okay. All right. And step 3. So now you've got, the big bulk of the work is in step 1 and step 2. Now you just need to be logical and structured in identifying your deliverables. And this includes any advantages. So, again, coaching or consulting, that might be bonuses, freebies, advantages. If you're in contracting, it might just come down to a free estimate or a free consultation. So again, depending on what industry you're in, it's going to depend on what you're structuring here. But when you're doing your process, you want to include everything you're doing. So don't leave things out just because they're a freebie or they're a bonus. Those 2 things, those are a value add-on in terms of marketing. And also, budget-wise, you really do have to take that in consideration because there's time, and time is money. So if you're doing a bonus or a freebie or an advantage, you do need to do a costing to make sure what the cost of that is so that you can determine your cost of sale correctly. Okay, nothing wrong with them at all. Huge advantage to them. Just make sure that you're actually incorporating them properly in your business. So goals for step 3, create your process, 1, 2, 3, right? Add proof that your process service works. Identify your main deliverables, identify your before and after, and identify your anchor value. And your anchor value can be your guarantee, it can be your workmanship, it can be, you really do need to decide what your value add-on is. Okay. That's all it takes. Translate the transformation you offer into a 3-step formula that we've just talked about, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And rework. So if you do this correctly, almost everyone that I'm talking to right now will go back. And that includes myself, by the way. I tell my group of students this all the time. You're constantly reevaluating, right? So you get something done or you get your copy done, and there's always room for improvement. So you can go back, do the improvement, and if you're in our class, you know how to upload your new copy on WordPress. If you don't, you can reach out to your website designer and get them to update it. And yeah, keep record of that. Any changes you make, right? There's a bunch of planning documents on the website. I would highly recommend that you use them. I've said to my students, you can print a planning document, and instead of using it for your whole year, you can change it to, a campaign. So just the Christmas season, for example, or just the holiday season, or just Valentine's Day. You can literally, structure it and then kind of keep it in a binder. And the nice part about that is that next year, when that holiday comes, you'll have reference point to what your marketing plan was and how it worked. And then you can massage it as needed, right? And then at the very end, I've just given you some. So a loss leader, for those of you that don't know, is typically a product or a service that is pretty much given away. It's either given away for free or at such a low discount that it is just to get people in the store. So those are called loss leader. Online, there's a lot of different words that correspond with loss leaders. Okay. So I just wanted to give you an idea, because right now we really are talking about online. Some of these things could work within a brick and mortar store, but there's a lot of different words. These words specifically kind of focus on online, benefits, bonuses, things like that, right? So Academy, Accelerator, your blueprint, your toolbox, right? Builder, a bundle. Excuse me, everybody. Take a little bit of water there. Coffee. Oh, it's always coffee. Okay. Report, roadmap, the secrets. So anyway, I wanted to give you some a jump off point in terms of coming up with your value. I'm gonna lose my voice. Excuse me. And that's it. It's really that simple. Um, I'm a firm believer of what you get in or what you put in, you get out, right? So if you take the time to be critical of what you're doing business wise, and I tell my students this all the time, you should be doing that at least once a year, ideally once a quarter. Okay. All right. You should, really be planning and structuring review times for your business. And when you get into SEO and you get into, you really start to kind of get going and you've got traffic and you've got sales, you're going to have all these numbers that you're going to need to put together to get a proper picture of what you're spending versus what's going out versus what's coming in, what your pricing is, if your discounts or if your scaling worked, or if you need to go back and revisit it. So these are the foundations of all of that. I can give you, sorry, one sec. Just gonna, wrong one. Let me get out of my full screen. There we go. So this document is online. It's on the Accelerator website right here. So accelerateyourbrand.ca. You can go download it. It's 100% free. No catch. You just get it. You can work yourself through these 18 pages. There's a lot of other free resources here as well. And I'm adding more all the time. There's a free marketing planner for 2023. There's a little guideline for your brand. This is for coaches. There's an industry jargon dictionary. You may want that. If you continue to do these little mini classes and you're building your brand and you're working on your marketing and stuff, you'll want to understand what we're all talking about. There'll be some words that you probably won't have any idea what they really mean. So I would highly recommend you download that. And then, there's no question, if you are a small business and you don't have a presence online, then I would highly recommend that you join us. For those of you that don't know, we did a corporate sponsored accelerator program for small business in northern BC, East Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, and the Northwest Territories. It was successful in terms of the people that we have are really committed to their businesses. So it was good enough that I really did want to keep on the process. You can join us. It's the complete accelerator program and it's complete. So you get one of these, I say rather fancy websites, but you get a custom WordPress developed website. You get all the marketing material that I create for you initially. And if that's a logo or whatever the case may be, it depends on every company. Some people have a logo, some people don't. Hosting, your email, and a year of support. And then on top of that, you get your weekly meetings, which you don't always have to attend, but we meet weekly. It's a lot of fun. So we meet weekly and we do these classes. We do branding classes. We do Canva classes. This week we're doing Instagram. This Thursday, tomorrow, we are working on Instagram and how to leverage that. And I think what we're going to do, because this is a new program. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. We're going to talk about Reels tomorrow. We're going to, I think we're going to take the Accelerate Your Brand Instagram account, which is brand new, by the way. And I think we're going to, or I'm going to, challenge myself to get 1,000 followers by the end of October and see if I can do it. So the algorithms have changed a bit. There is a little bit of a massaging that you have to do to start to increase your value. But I can tell you, I have an active border collie. I'm also a border collie breeder, which is why you hear all the border collies in the background. But we have a border collie program. It's a pretty extensive one. I have 3 dogs here in Quebec. My partner has 3 dogs in BC, and we have a really active community. Our families are the best families ever, and they're very active on social media. So our Willow Creek Instagram is quite active, and there's a lot of business that gets driven from that channel. So there's no question in my mind that Instagram is highly valuable. In fact, I think it's probably the most valuable for most of the businesses I'm working with. So, but it takes time to build it up. So we're going to go over it tomorrow. We're going to start showing you how to leverage Reels, how to leverage YouTube, for example. All of them kind of coincide with learning how to do video on Canva, or learning how to record video like we are today, or doing a live stream on your phone. So that's what we're going to work on. Sorry, not tomorrow, Thursday. So you're welcome to join us for that as well. But I think that's it. And because we didn't get to go live on YouTube, there's no questions. So I'm going to wrap it up here. And I said I am going to get on the phone today with my internet provider and see what we can do about getting it so we can stream, because we couldn't stream. I tried and I failed. So, there's lots of failures in process too, as you're trying to work out new methods and new technology. But okay, any questions, by all means, you can email me either on the website. You can contact me on the Facebook page, Accelerate Your Brand. You can email me at hello@acceleratorbrand.ca. Multiple ways to reach me, and I'm usually pretty responsive because I'm online. I don't know, probably 14 hours of the day at least. So it shouldn't be too long for you to hear back from me if you have a question, and I'm happy to answer. Okay, everyone have a good afternoon, and enjoy your day.